Okay, we had to restart after our battery died, so we're going to go through the shade zone. So this is the rescue and shade zone for things that either aren't doing well or repotting or propagation. Unfortunately, not everything always does well, but we've got stinging nettles, skullcap, this is a boneset plant, a couple different kinds of mints, cedar trees, some fuchsias, and quite a few other things in here. Anna knows more about these than I do because some of them are her medicinal things, but this is called El Campaign, and we've got quite a few different little succulents here, stuff awaiting repotting or pulled out of people's yards that aren't doing well, and instead of throwing it away, we're trying to save them. I've got some more fig tree cuttings back here, stuff we would normally do in the winter time, and now we're just waiting until it starts getting cool again. Hey, this is an important part of my garden. That's the beer cooler. Oh yeah, it has to be in the shade, of course. We have more medicinal things over here, some wild ginger. Here's a hibiscus plant. Here's more feverfew. We're just going to go around the front of the house real quick here. It's not real pretty because this is where all the tools live. We have a volunteer tomato plant. It's doing real good. Here's an avocado tree. Ceanothus. Here's the aloes. Here's a few roses we haven't got a chance to plant this year yet, or were gifts from different people. I have a real beautiful climbing one. It's a variegated purple rose. Real beautiful. I've got some red climbing roses, the same. They're real beautiful. We have a little Capelline cherry tree that's real small cherries. It was here when we came. Here's another rose and a lemon tree. We carted a lot of bulbs around with us, so we've got a lot of gladiola bulbs, and we try to save the bulbs by color and then repot them just for cutting flowers. We've got quite a few different dahlias here. We got some nice greens out of this area before it got too shady. Got some pink dahlias, some white dahlias, some peach dahlias, more pink ones. This is where we keep our little orphan Lammy when she's not running around, and she can be quite annoying, so she stays out here a lot of the time. I've got a nice rose that gets some shade. Some head lettuce is coming up. Just enough sun. A beautiful section of dahlias out here. Some big, giant pink ones. They're real pretty. They're blooming really heavily at the moment, and they sure are pretty. We have a couple nice water gardens over here. Anna really enjoys these. There's some goldfish and water hyacinths and different things here and there. Some Japanese lilies, a couple other things in there. Just for fun, they make nice noise with the water bubbling, and the dogs always enjoy a good drink if we haven't filled up the water bowls fast enough. We're gonna walk around the back and start peeking at some of the vegetables. This beautiful jasmine vine was here and put out a real heavy scent when it was in full bloom. It's never been watered before, so it's thriving now that we watered a little bit. I've got some sunchokes, a beautiful lemon cucumber plant. It's doing good. This is an avocado tree, and we do get frost here. We had a 28-degree day this past winter, so it'll die back and then start growing again every year. I've got some more cucumbers down here, and then I also have a really nice section of raspberries we planted in this year, and they look like they're going to make fruit, a second crop of fruit. Here's some more of the roses that were here. I have a hot pepper and a regular pepper. They're doing good. I have some zucchinis, and all the extras we don't eat go to the chickens. These are my backup cucumbers. And these are my backup melons. This is a perennial Siberian cabbage, or kind of like a
Portuguese.
Perennial brassica plant. Doesn't flower too easily, and it keeps growing and growing. It tolerates cold. It's kind of nice. A cooking green, not really a salad green. Got a nice set of beans. Of course, the store sold me bush beans when they were labeled string beans, but that's the way it goes. So we've got a nice set of string beans, and they're all coming on. These are beautiful purple pole beans, or bush beans, sorry. They're pretty yummy, and we've got string beans started on all of our plants. It took a while for the bees to come in and pollinate everything, because this was a dead zone with the grapes, which are just wind pollinated, and you can see all the bunches of grapes right over here just growing. We grow Pinot Noir and Chardonnay here, but you can see how close the tractors drive to our house. We have tractors driving all night sometimes. We try to use all of the space that we can. I have some extra stuff here and there. We have a lot of California pocket gophers here, little critters that love to pull down your plants and eat everything, and they do a bit of destruction. But I plant my plants in pots and just put the pots right into the ground. It makes them easier to water so the water doesn't run off, and if the gophers eat them, it makes it easy to pull up and replace things. So what you have to do is grow extras for when the gophers eat stuff. They can eat through the plastic. But it helps slow them down, and it helps make things easily replaceable. This poor melon was recently eaten by a gopher. It still has a little melon on it, but I don't think it's going to make it. It doesn't have enough leaves to support it anymore. We have a nice little greens bed. Here's some cilantro. This is arugula. This is popcorn. We just planted it for fun and hoped it wouldn't cross-pollinate with the other corns back here. We have lemon basil, mixed basil, and dill that's everywhere thanks to Huckleberry, since he dug it up here about 4 times and spread the seeds and disrupted it all a bunch of times. So luckily it survived, but it's all jumbled instead of in neat little lines now. Thanks, Huckleberry. We appreciate that. These are my melons. I have cantaloupes, Asian melons, and watermelons. So I have a little melon growing here about as big as a softball. That's real nice to see. I have a little Asian melons here. These are a white fleshed melon. I have delicata squashes, a winter hard squash. This is a butternut squash vine. And we'll move into the backyard here. I have some beautiful acorn squashes. I think these are orange fleshed hard squash. They're doing really well. I think I've got 3 or 4 large fruits on there. Real beautiful. You'll have to follow me. Well, this is a beautiful little arbor that we built out of some cheap supplies and an old gate that was part of the garbage in the yard. So the gates just sit on there, and we're growing whatever we can on it because it gets pretty hot here. I've got hops plants. These are obviously used for making beer and having a sedative or sleepy effect if you make a tincture or tea out of them, although they are very strong. I have 4 different varieties. This is a blue Hubbard squash, and this is my garden's pride and joy. I'm very proud of this squash. I think it probably already weighs 15 to 18 pounds, and I'm hoping it tops 30. It'll turn blue, and it's pretty damn big. There's a few more of them that are just starting. I'm going to try to keep too many from growing so that it gets real big. I've got a birdhouse gourd, or a long-necked dipper actually, so they should get real big, and I'm trying to hang them down so they straighten out. Here's another one of the hops. We've got quite a lot of flowers because we enjoy all the colors. Here's some cosmos. Once again, here's our bee balm, and it's real nice to sit down while the hummingbirds come right down to you. I've got potatoes. These ones are doing real good. They're not flowering now, but they were before. And here's a potato seed. If nobody's ever seen a potatoes that are, if you want to try and grow a potato from seed, there's where they are. Here's more just coming up. These are your native elderberry plants right here. These were propagated from a friend. Here's some more of the bee balms just in different colors. This is an angelica, and this is a arnica right here. Some more medicinal plants here and there. I've got some more echinacea flowers. When stuff is medicinal, and depending on what part you use, like the root, you have to grow and plan for harvest. Here's a white sage. These are chamomile flowers. Here's a little bed of sunflowers along my propane tank, and we'll just keep moving back here. I've got Burbank Shasta daisies, canna lilies, yarrows, lavenders, littles, calendulas. These are head lettuces. So these will grow up and be harvested as a head lettuces. These are all leaf lettuces, so they all cut and come back. We've been harvesting through them. I've got cosmos flowers, and I have some big tomatoes. My tomatoes are taller than I am, with my hands up. I even have a few ripe ones already. Here's another lacy-leafed elderberry. Some of the tomatoes are ripe. Unfortunately, I don't know if I can get to them. But we'll make you jealous with the ripe tomatoes. Here's another Mexican marigold plant. It's a famous California variety. I even have pumpkins already ready. These were volunteers from pumpkins we fed the chickens, and they're doing good. There's some big ones on the back in the ground. You can't see them. But this is a funny odd-shaped one already turning orange. Got more roses back here. We have quite a variety of tomatoes. We have all heirloom varieties, but we've got a couple of different cherry heirlooms, and then we have purple Cherokee and pineapple and a couple other big ones as well. So we're just awaiting them. Here's more backups. Here's some more ripe tomatoes. These ones have stripes in them, but you can't really see it. They're green striped, and then they turn and the stripes stay a little bit yellow. They're real pretty. But they're all doing good. We tried to train everything vertical so we could get as much space in here as we could. And this was just all weeds. So it's nice to see that there's anything. We have a beautiful corn and bean bed. I've got some broom corn in the middle. You probably can't tell the look of it. Here's one of the other hops plants. And sweet corn, and then I have Romano beans and more string beans planted in with the corn. So hopefully they'll grow. And this is all grown with a no-till method, where I spread manure or other soil media and plant right into it. So I haven't tilled or dug up here. I just put stuff on top of the soil and water it in. Supposedly these are a decorative black pumpkin, but we have yet to see. This is a pie pumpkin. there's a little pumpkin on it already. Not sure how big this plant's gonna get. I've got more daisies. This is a white flower tobacco. If you're a cigarette smoker, this is, the flowers are smokable and have a delicate flavor. It's also a great pesticide. It can be used on almost any type of insect as a tea that's not toxic to people and is easily washed off, but does a great job on insects and thrips and spider mites. I have some more zucchinis. This here's a horseradish plant. Kind of neat. Some pretty hollyhocks. A beautiful lemon verbena plant, of course, can be used for sun tea. Some more basils. This is a perennial tree collard plant. And while that's definitely not everything that we have, it's a good cross section. I didn't name or try to all the plants that we have, but hopefully you got to take a peek around and see a little bit of what we stuffed in here. It would be nice if we had some row garden space so that we could actually grow carrots and all that stuff. We didn't have to buy any of that, but we get enough to supplement at least all of our own salad greens and zucchinis and all of that, and that's really nice, and we get really good basil and pestos and all of that stuff, and it really helps to improve the quality of our chicken eggs so that when we eat fresh eggs they taste real good. So it'd be nice to get a little bit more, but we like flowers and it's hard to not plant them, so that way we get pretty and food at the same time, but hopefully not too much work. Yeah, right.